28th, 2025, Old Bridge Township meeting. Would everyone please stand for a pledge of allegiance, remain standing for a moment of silence, and for our prayer. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We stand here tonight for a moment of silence, remembering those who are protecting our freedoms, both here and abroad, for our first responders, for those who made the ultimate sacrifice, and for anyone who is suffering around the world. A moment of silence, please. Mr. Paschetti, our prayer.
O Lord, bless thy servants in the ministry of public affairs who serve you in this chamber. Give us quiet minds and hearts that we may hear your voice. Help us to know when to speak, when to be silent. Give us strength to oppose the wrong and uphold the right. And grant that we have a good conscience and soul at peace with thee and with one another. Amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. Please.
Roll call. Councilman Asatuli.
Present.
Councilwoman DeCaro. Here. Councilman DePalma.
Here.
Councilman Desai is absent. Councilman Garcia.
Present.
Councilman Murphy is
He
absent.
told me he wasn't going to be here this evening.
Councilman Paschetti.
Present.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. Present. And Council President Sohar.
Here.
This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice has been given to the official newspapers of the township on December 16th, 2024, has been posted in public places. Next open public meeting of the Township Council will be held on Tuesday, February 11th, 2025 at 7:30 p.m.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting, and we'll begin with presentations, community service acknowledgement for Dennis Kilduff. Mayor?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us here tonight. We are recognizing somebody who has done great things in the community on a personal level and a professional level in his volunteer service with our recreation board, but as well as throughout the entire township for many, many years. Mr. Dennis Kilduff has always volunteered and stayed on our rec board for as long as he has because he enjoyed coaching and teaching the next generation of athletes. Sports has been a big part of his life from a kid to an adult here in Old Bridge. As a lifelong resident who played football for the Rebels and baseball at Saywood South Little League, he always wanted to give back like his father and his brothers did. With over 40 years of coaching and part of the Old Bridge Rec Board, he enjoyed it all. The best part for Dennis has always been teaching the kids. To this day, he still sees men and women out and about town that he coached, and they still call him Coach. They talk about games and other players that they played with and talk about all the great memories that they shared. These are the reasons why he coached and why he stayed on the rec board all these years. I'm going to list off some of his accomplishments that he had. These are just a small snapshot of what he has done. He coached the Saywood South Rebels for 32 years, president at the same time for 19 of those years, Central Jersey Pop Warner Executive Board and Football Commissioner for a total of 9 years. Coach at Old Bridge Little League for 10 years. Old Bridge Little League District Coach or Manager, 6 years. Coach of Old Bridge Junior Knights Hockey Program, 2 years. Coach at Old Bridge Matt Rats Wrestling Program, 3 years. Coach at Madison Park Girls Softball, 9 years. I just listed all of those. I can't think of any other sport in town that he hasn't coached or hasn't been involved with or hasn't volunteered, and that's just his personal time on top of the years that he served on the rec board. Some of his accomplishments from the rec board that he is most proud of is he was on the subcommittee for the YMCA and the Old Bridge Golf Course. And he had always joked around that once that golf course got built, that his time on the rec board, he was done. He's seen it all. He was an integral part in the shared service with Old Bridge High School when Lombardi Field was renovated. Phase 1 of Menino Park. He was the committee chairman for many years, and one of the things that he's most proud of is the youth sport parent and athlete code of conduct that we still enforce through all of our youth sports leagues throughout the entire township. He championed and came up with the idea to name the ice arena after the late John Piccolo. These are just a few accomplishments that we would like to highlight. On a personal level, me being born and raised here in Old Bridge, and on a professional level and being in charge in recreation, I want to thank Mr. Kilduff and his family for allowing him to volunteer all this time for his dedicated years of service to the Township of Old Bridge. If Mr. Kilduff can please come up.
Well, a few words, that's a tough thing for me to do. My kids say all the time, don't give him a mic, he won't shut up. I just want to say thank you. It's been a pleasure and an honor for me to be able to be part of this town and be part of this rec committee. I kind of, like I lassoed people into coaching, I got lassoed into that. John Pioverson said to me one day at Rebel Field, come on, why don't you get on the rec board? We need some people. 2 years later, he left, and I was still there for another 20-plus years. But it was great. We did a lot of things in this town. Like I said, the golf course, Joe Dunn and I, we were chair and co-chair for years when that was going on, and we both said, once it gets built, we're getting off. But he got off before I did. But it's an honor, and I just really, I did this not for this award, although I appreciate it. I did it because I wanted to. And it was a lot of fun, a lot of time, but it was great, and I'm happy to do it, and thank you very much. I appreciate it.
If Mr. Kilduff's family would like to come up so we could take a picture, then after that, we'll take a picture with any current and former rec board members that are here tonight.
I just want to thank Dennis for all his many years that he's devoted to the youth of Old Bridge. It's people like you that make Old Bridge such a wonderful community. We just want to thank you. I served on the rec board with you as well, and I do love the golf course, too.
Thank you.
Grandpa's girl. Thank you so much, Dennis, for everything. And we would be remiss if we didn't thank your wife, too, Ginger, for all the time that she let you be here and be with us and not be at a lot of things that she could have had you at. So we thank her as well. Thank you so much for sharing him with us. That was really amazing. Thank you very much. Take care. Have a good night. Thank you. Okay, next will be a safety committee presentation. Okay. Okay, Mayor and our acting BA Casey. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting. That is long. That's like at the kids' table, Thanksgiving. Oh, my goodness. You know, when they put you at the kids' table. Well, anyway, okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the meeting.
Good evening, Madam Chair. We'll try to keep the trouble at the middle of the child's table to a minimum. Having sat at the dais in my township, presentation is the best part of the meeting, I can guarantee you. My name is Tim Weir. I work for the PMA companies. We handle all the claims management and the risk control services for the New Jersey Intergovernmental Insurance Fund, of which you are one of now 27 members of municipalities throughout New Jersey. And we're proud to be in partnership with Lincoln Risk Management as your risk management broker, and Tom Hudanish is with me here tonight for this recognition. As part of the JIF, you have received a cash award incentive that's been received by the business manager earlier on, and the JIF will be here to present a plaque once we get past what they call production slowdowns with things that are coming in. However, Tom and I felt it was important to recognize how well this town continues to do in their efforts to improve workplace safety across the board. Of the 27 members of the JIF, of which I've worked with for 11 years, and this township since you joined the JIF, you are the only member we have who holds monthly safety meetings. And they've been handled for all the years I've been with by Frank Speranza as our coordinator for safety, who does an excellent job. And everybody participates. The participation across the board has been excellent. And as Anna has now come into the lead spot and the work with Casey, it's just a pleasure for us to come and work with your township as we continue to look for ways to improve. In that light, we want to just have a very simple recognition. We have a simple certificate. It's a safety recognition certificate presented to Old Bridge Township in recognition of consistent and proactive efforts to improve safety for all employees. While we do recognize employees, we do also work for fleet safety, property, and liability issues, but we're really focusing on the employees tonight. And we hope as a council you'll continue to support the safety efforts of your town department heads. I've thoroughly enjoyed working with Matt and Casey and all these. It just makes life easy for us. And hopefully you'll continue to be part of our joint insurance fund for many, many years to come. So I'd like to present this since Anna's not here. Mayor, if you don't mind, I'm going to present it to Casey, who is barely filling in for Anna tonight. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much.
Before we disperse, just wanted to say a few words about the Safety Committee. So I joined the Safety Committee about 8 years ago, and it's been a fun ride. You know, we meet monthly, and we have participants from every department that come, and, you know, everybody really cares. And if they see something, they let us know, and we're able to get it fixed right away. We bounce ideas off each other. You know, Frank does an amazing job with that. You know, he puts minutes together and makes sure that, you know, nothing gets missed. So thank everybody that's involved, and we really do appreciate this.
Okay, next will be Route 9 Transit-Oriented Development Presentation. Good evening, ladies, and Casey.
Good evening, Council. As you may recall, it was in 2019 that I had reached out to NJTOT to pursue a transit village designation for the Old Bridge commuter parking lot. And it was in February of 2019 that here at the municipal building, for the first time, we had officials from DCA, NJ Transit, NJ DOT, everybody gathered together, and I had made a presentation as to how the shopping center near the Old Bridge commuter parking lot had ample vacancies, and there was a lot of parking that was available. The planning for that shopping center is something that was planned in the 70s, where you have a sea of asphalt and then the shopping center is set back. And I think it offers an opportunity for us to develop a transit-oriented development. Transit village designation comes from DOT, and it's a multi-step process. So we began that day with a pre-application meeting with NJDOT. Unfortunately for us, we were amidst of the pandemic and things slowed down. But NJDOT since then has been pursuing and following up if Old Bridge is still interested in pursuing that transit village designation. In the interim, you may recall almost 3 years ago, NJ Transit received funding from FTA to do a corridor study for the Route 9. And that corridor is 21 miles starting from Old Bridge Township to Howell Township. There are 17 stations. NJ Transit, myself, their consulting firm, Perkins and Eastman, has been working together to put up this presentation. This is just the beginning. There's a lot more work to be done, a lot more work on our end to be done, because when you try to pursue a transit village designation, you have to go through the redevelopment process. So first, the area investigation study coupled with a number of shreds that you conduct, and then you have a redevelopment plan in place. But tonight, we have a representative, a planner from NJ Transit to show their support. We have a consultant from Perkins Eastman, and she would make a presentation on how they have worked through and what they have come up with so far. This is Tamanna Tiku.
Can you all hear me? Okay. Great. Hi, everyone. I would request your attention to the screen. I think it will help, it will aid your understanding of the presentation. So like Veena said, NJ Transit received this grant from the FTA. And in 2019, the Route 9 corridor carried 10 New Jersey Transit bus routes with 80 bus stops and around 6,500 weekday boardings, which can be compared to a lot of commuter rail stops nearby as well. So this is a really robust transit corridor, 21 mile long, as Veena mentioned already. So out of the 80 bus stops, 17 were selected in 5 municipalities, Old Bridge, Marlborough, Manalapan, Freehold, and Howell. The approach of this study was sensitive to the unique existing conditions of each of these 17 stations. Today, I'll be sharing our study of the Old Bridge Park and Ride. The overall goals of this, which is the first station along the corridor and the closest to New York City. The goals of this study have been to assess the potential for transit-oriented development for all of these 17 sites. And we have engaged local government and regional and state agencies. Our purpose is to create a collective vision and strategies for transit-oriented development along this corridor and reach out to communities as much as possible to understand their specific needs in each of the communities. We wanted to build support for TOD along the way, especially for the Route 9 corridor. I have here some images of the Old Bridge Park and Ride station area. Apart from the bus stop, you can see the Old Bridge Shopping Plaza has been struggling with vacancies for a few years now. The Maletta Bridge, the Maletta Way Bridge crossing over Route 9 presents its own unique challenges for pedestrians since the southbound Route 9 bus stop is on the other side of Maletta Bridge, and the northbound, as you can see, is right along Route 9. Overall, there were some smart growth principles that we applied to all of the sites we looked at. We wanted to concentrate higher density housing as close to the bus stations as possible. We wanted to cluster development to allow for more contiguous green space and more access to green space for all new development. We wanted to use redevelopment of underperforming shopping centers. The Old Bridge Shopping Plaza is not the only underperforming shopping center along the corridor, but we wanted to use this opportunity to open up pedestrian and bicycle access to the existing transit. And we wanted to integrate open space with stormwater management measures and green infrastructure, as well as the roadways. Overall, just want to call out a few key benefits of transit-oriented development along Route 9. Not only would it help aid better bus service and reduce travel times, it will help safer pedestrian and bike access to these bus stops for existing as well as new residents, a new vision for the struggling shopping center, and opportunities for a variety of housing options near high-quality transit. With this, I would introduce you to the site. Within a 10-minute walking radius, which is what we refer to as a station area, we have around 150 acres of potential development sites on both sides of Route 9. On the east side, there's 41 acres, and on the west, 108. You can see that they're owned by a variety of the ownership varies from some parcels being owned by New Jersey Transit, some by the Township, and some by private owners. The context is pretty mixed with retail, residential, as well as natural features, but there's an opportunity to create a cohesive TOD district around the transit node. In the existing condition, the access to transit from, say, the existing London Terrace apartments or the Parkwood Village apartments to the east of the Old Bridge Shopping Plaza is really limited. And the shopping plaza inhibits not only visual but pedestrian access as well, because not a lot of streets are able to go all the way to transit. So these people don't have very good or clear access to transit. On the west side of Route 9, there are a lot of substantial wetlands, and there is a key utility easement going through the site as well. But we can use all of these as opportunities to help us organize the site. They really help break up the site into 4 clear parcels, and they can help aid the organization of the development when it happens. There's also a lot of existing commuter parking, around 1,053 spaces across 5 lots. So to allow for development on New Jersey Transit-owned Lot C, the existing parking spaces would need to be relocated elsewhere. So whatever redevelopment plan is proposed will have to account for either a stacked structure so that more land is available for development, or some phased strategy to relocate parking. In terms of circulation, we would highly recommend that the bus stop on the west side of Route 9, which is, if you can see my pointer, tucked away behind the Walmart currently, be brought back out to Route 9 to maximize visibility. We would like to link the east and west side bus stops with an enclosed pedestrian bridge over Route 9 so that pedestrians have easy access on both sides of Route 9. We would recommend extending Westminster Boulevard across Route 9 as a potential mid-block connection. And we would propose a street network that reimagines the existing shopping plaza with new connections between Downing Street and Route 9. On the left, you'll see an existing condition image, and on the right is what is potential. So, like I mentioned earlier, there is a 10-minute walking circle on the that you can see on the left image, which is not pedestrian accessible currently because of lack of sidewalk connectivity. With a robust network of streets, blocks, and contiguous sidewalk connectivity, you can see how almost the entirety of a 10-minute walking circle can actually be walkable to transit and accessible for users. So we're just going to end here, making this case for pedestrian access to transit and increased housing opportunity at the station. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation. It's great. My one question is, you did say that this is being funded all or in part by federal grants? Is that what I heard in the beginning? Yeah, the study is, or the whole thing?
The study is.
Oh, just the study. Was it paid out already? Because I just know that there's a freeze on federal grants now that I don't know if that's affected by
The
this.
grant was, it was funded almost 3 years ago.
It was, okay.
Yes.
That's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's funny. I think 6, 7 months ago, if you would have came in and done this, probably people would be looking at you a little sideways with everyone working from home. But I think it is starting to become more and more prevalent as folks return to the office. I know in financial services industry, which is mine, and a lot of other industries are where we're starting to return, if not full time, pretty close to it. The question I would have is, when we looked at this, did you have any engagement with the owners of the properties that are there now, or is it just the study and then?
So I'll take that. So as part of the application process for the transit village, the township has to undertake that study. And it is a requirement that the public be engaged. I think the township has to conduct a minimum of 3 public outreach sessions. I know that NJ Transit themselves are also planning to conduct those outreach sessions. I think the first one is coming up soon, and the public will be notified. I will be present at the presentation as well, and their input is vital to this whole process.
It would be similar to what we did for the project at over Lake Lefferts on 516.
Yes,
So they would
yes.
have multiple process where folks can come in.
Correct, that is correct.
Just look, I know that not only it's obviously a big swath of folks that are in Old Bridge, and what affected, it's also folks that are right over in Sayreville.
That
potentially
is
could-
correct. The
would
transit
benefit
village
greatly from it as
designation
well.
does help Sayreville as well as Old Bridge. So the public outreach would be on either sides.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I love it. I hope it happens. Did you envision Westminster Boulevard being an overpass or an underpass? I mean, how did you think about that road connecting?
Ideally, it would be an at-grade connection on both sides of Route 9, and there would be no need for adding another overpass over Route 9. So we would propose at-grade crosswalks, sidewalk connectivity, and all that.
Oh, okay. So no traffic light.
Yes, traffic.
You would think a traffic light.
Traffic light, potentially. It's too soon to.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, Mary. You mentioned something about bicycle paths. Did you mention something about how does that intertwine?
Okay, so I guess this is a good slide. This slide, as well as the next, shows a variety of streets, right? So what we didn't present today, but we did study, is a variety of street sections. So all of these there would be some narrower 40 to 50 feet wide streets here, but some much wider boulevard-sized streets that would accommodate the existing creeks. And so there would be a variety of ways to accommodate bicycle paths within those street sections. Some would be within the boulevard, some would be close to the sidewalk. But there's so much land that there is no excuse for not considering all kinds of users, including pedestrians and bicyclists with their dedicated lanes.
So, quick question. So, from a safety perspective, right? There's so many accidents, like in the cities,
Right.
with bicycles all over the place. Now we're creating paths for bicycles and cars, and how does that kind of tie in? Because wouldn't it be a little bit of a safety issue?
The safety considerations would be topmost on top of mind while designing the streets, but I think it's a little premature.
And to answer to that, right? When you create a transit-oriented development, the focus is more on pedestrian safety than vehicular circulation. Like, the whole idea is people should be able to walk to the transit stop. They should be able to walk to the stores or the restaurants. You don't want to promote people to drive cars. So having that connection or planning for it is vital. When the redevelopment plan, unlike other redevelopment plan, when a transit-oriented development plan is written, the focus is mostly on sidewalks, bicycle paths. So safety is important, and the circulation element is the major part of the redevelopment plan. So I think that will be a focus anyways.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Rohit Bhandari. I actually came to this meeting specifically because I had an issue related to NJ Transit and a recent change that happened in Old Bridge that I wanted to bring up. I was going to bring it up later, but this actually ended up being a pretty perfect segue. So this is the Route 9 stop. There's also one additional Old Bridge stop right next to GSP exit 120. It's the Route 135 bus, and it's the morning bus. So recently, from my understanding and what was told to us in the morning, the bus stop that I would usually take the bus at to commute into the city daily was actually removed because of a safety reason. However, I think while that was made with good intention, has actually resulted in a slightly more dangerous situation. And so basically what I'm talking about is right across from GSP exit 120, where the original bus stop was. It's called Montawan Road, north of 1500 Cliffwood. I believe it's like 23653 is the official bus route number, stop number. That stop has now been removed in favor of picking people up in the parking lot directly where people park, and then the bus kind of goes into the highway. Well, I understand the importance of having that stop so that people who are parking can directly get on the bus. For folks that actually used to walk to the stop, including myself, including many people I know in the neighborhood, including elderly, including pregnant women, many folks, it's actually become much more dangerous because now instead of walking, along with walking, we have to actually cross the street and that intersection where there's no traffic light to get over to where the bus is picking folks up. So I guess my question was, does that stop need to be removed? Because there's been a notice up that stop has now officially been removed. And can we just keep that stop while also adding that new stop that was added?
That's something that New Jersey Transit would have to address. If you could send an email here and let them know what the status is and see what the response would be, correct?
I think they should reach out to Nicole. She has been working with them closely, and she has been part of multiple meetings. So have I.
Yes, so then you can email our engineer, and she would be able to give you some direction on the reasoning behind all of that. Okay? Yeah, she's right behind you. Okay? Yeah, that would be more in keeping with what you're discussing rather than the transit village. So she'll be able to give you direction. Okay? All right. You're welcome. Very good. Okay. Or did you want to add anything?
I just want to say, I don't know if anyone has ever taken the bus from that bus location to Manhattan and home. It's very dangerous when you return and you get off by the Walmart and you have to cross that street and then you have to walk over that overpass, and it's very unsafe over there. So hopefully by doing this, it's going to make it a much safer place. And like they said, it'll be much easier for people to get to the bus stop, because right now it's very difficult.
Okay. Yeah, it really is. Thank you very much. Casey, did you want to add anything? Okay.
And like Mr. De Palma said, it's going to get busy again.
Oh,
because
yeah,
people are
it's
going back to work. Because at one time, you couldn't even get a space in that lot, and I think that's going to happen again. Yeah, and the shopping center is empty a lot, yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much for the presentation. Very appreciated. Okay, now we'll go on to council appointments. Resolution appointing a council liaison to the Shade Tree Commission. Do I have a nomination? I'll nominate Dr. Anita Greenberg Belli. Do I have a second?
Second?
You don't need a second.
Oh, that's right. Yes, absolutely.
roll call on the nomination. Oh, any other nominations? First. Nobody? Okay. Roll call on the nomination for Dr. Anita Greenberg-Belli for the Shade Tree Council Liaison for a term to begin January 1, 2025, and to expire on December 31st, 2025. Councilman Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilman De Palma?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg-Belli?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
7 yeses.
Okay, next will be Old Bridge Municipal Utilities Authority, a seat from February 1st, 2025 to January 31st, 2030. Do I have a nomination?
I nominate Perry Simone.
For the alternate.
Oh, for the,
Alternate-
for the
alternate.
regular seat, Frank Weber. Yep. Sorry.
Second.
Okay,
Second.
Frank Weber.
By Dr. Anita Greenberg-Belli?
Yes, yes, no second is necessary.
Any other nominations for the full seat? Okay, roll call for Mr. Frank Weber to fill the seat on the Municipal Utilities Authority with a term date of February 1st, 2025 to January 31, 2023. Councilman Asatuli?
Yes.
I'm sorry. 2030, I'm sorry. 2030. It's a 5-year term.
Yep.
Councilwoman DeCaro?
No.
Doesn't sound right.
Councilman De Palma?
Abstain.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg-Belli?
Yes, Frank
Council,
Weber.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
5 yeses, 1 no, and 1 abstention.
Okay, next, Old Bridge Municipal Utilities Authority alternate. The term is February 1st, 2025 to January 31st, 2030. Do I have a
I
nomination?
nominate Perry Simone for the alternate.
Okay, any other nominations? Hearing none?
I don't see a Perry Simone thing in my packet.
I resent them out a second time. First, I sent them last week, and then I sent them again.
Okay, I still don't see it, but that's, all right.
No, I did. No, I just wanted to make sure. So for the nomination of Perry Simone for the alternate 2 position for 5 years, February 1, 2025 to January 31, 2030, Councilman Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilman De Palma?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg-Belli?
Yes.
And Council President Sohar?
Yes.
That's 7 yeses.
Okay. Zoning Board, first, it's Zoning Board full member position. It's January 1st. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, you
That's
do
okay.
that. Yep.
So we did have some movement on the zoning board. With the resignation of Mr. Michael Victoria from the alternate 1 position. But we do need to first rescind a appointment to the zoning board to the full member position. Last meeting, we had appointed a Dolores Gomez, so we need a motion and a second to rescind that part of the resolution.
Motion.
Moved by Dr. Greenberg-Belli. Second by Mr. Garcia. Roll call. Councilman Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro?
No.
Councilman De Palma?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg-Belli?
Yes.
And Council President Sohar?
Yes.
So with the rescinding of that resolution, we're going to start with the full member position to the zoning board with a term date of 1/1/2025 through 12/31/2028. Any nominations?
I'll nominate Benjamin Stoner.
Okay. Any other nominations? Hearing none, on the appointment for Benjamin Stoner to the zoning board for a 4-year term from January 1, 2025 to December 31, 2028. Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Abstain.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Councilman Pasquini.
No.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
5 yeses, 1 abstention, and 1 no. Second appointment would be for the alternate 1 position for vacancy, I'm sorry. Right.
She's 1, he's 2. I mean, she's 2, he's 1. Yep, that's right.
Right. So there was an alternate 1 seat, which is open, and we're by the resignation of Michael Victoria. So are we taking nominations for the alternate 1 seat?
I nominate Devinder Singh.
No, the vendor thing's already up.
Yeah, so this, maybe I can help here from what I was explained. Mr. Singh is currently the alternate 2.
He's the alternate.
So I think what council would like to do is move Mr. Singh from the alternate 2 into the alternate 1 to fill that vacancy. So it would just be a motion and a second to appoint Mr. Singh to the vacant alternate number 1 position for the remainder of that term, which is a term ending 12/31/2025.
Right. Okay, so do we have a nomination?
That's the,
Devinder Singh.
Second.
Okay, yep.
Okay. So we needed a second on that one?
Second.
Okay. Second.
Diane Asatuli.
I did.
Councilman Asatuli.
And roll call for the appointment of Devinder Singh for the alternate 1 seat with a term date of January 1, 2024, the unexpired,
actually would be as of today to the unexpired term till,
December 31, 2025.
Yeah.
So it doesn't go back to the,
January 20, yeah.
roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
No.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
so as a result of that appointment, now the alternate number 2 is vacant, and then, so now you have to make an appointment for the alternate number 2 position for the unexpired term commencing today through 12/31/2025.
Nominate Dolores Gomez.
Second.
Nominated by Councilman Pasquini, second by Councilman Garcia. Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Abstain.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Council President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes. These are second,
No, these are public hearings,
but I'm saying,
not ordinances. So
Right.
it's for them, they're getting carried out.
okay. Next will be public hearing, H1, performance guarantee release, Wawa Incorporated, 1886 Englishtown Road, Old Bridge, New Jersey, 08857, Block 22100, Lot 1, application number 31-15P, county bond release.
So we did receive a bond release request from Wawa at that location of 1886 Englishtown Road. Upon further investigation, there is no bond with the township regarding that particular location. The bond is with the county. So they have been told that they cannot request from the township, that they needed to request from the county.
Okay.
So
Okay, thank you very much. Next is H2, performance bond release, Wawa Trash Enclosure, 177 Route 34, Matawan, store number 934, Block 4230, Lot 3, application number 32-15Z. And this is going to be carried, right?
yes. This will be carried to our February 25th, 2025 meeting. This at the request of the applicant. They will need to do notice because they did not meet their noticing requirements.
H3, performance guarantee release, Woodhaven Village, Section 2, Phase 2, Blocks 22000 and 22001, Lots 37.11 to 4.11, 31, 32, 35, 37 through 45. Application number 14-13P.
We received a request from the applicant to carry this to the February 11th, 2025 meeting. They also did not meet their notification requirements.
Thank you very much. Approval of minutes, resolution, oh,
They have to notice, yes.
yeah, they have, right, they have to notice,
They have to
okay.
notice, yes.
Okay, approval of minutes, resolution approving executive session minutes of August 13th, 2024, October 22nd, 2024, and December 3rd, 2024, and the regular combined council meeting minutes of November 18th, 2024, December 3rd, 2024, December 17th, 2024, and January 7th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
Yes.
Second.
Okay. Moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second.
Roll call on the approval of the stated minutes. Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
I know I missed one, either the November 18th or the December 3rd. I can't remember which one I missed, so I'm just going to abstain on them all because I'm not sure which meeting I
I
missed.
think you missed the November 18th and the December 5th meeting.
Okay, so can I
You can
just abstain from those? Okay,
Abstain from those two.
just from those two, yeah.
And the vote on the rest is yes.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini. Abstain on all. Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Bill list, Mr. Garcia.
Yes, thank you. Bill list as of January 28, 2025. Accounts payable, January 28, 2025, $14,592,730.29. Payroll, January 3rd, 2025, $1,152,580.01. Payroll overtime, January 3rd, 2025, $41,895.62. Payroll, January 17, 2025, $1,161,123.36. Payroll overtime, January 17, 2025, $37,874.64. And that completes my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Garcia. Can we have breakdown of the overtime, please? Mr. Lenning.
Yes. Thank you, Council President. As Councilman Garcia indicated, there were two payrolls on this bill list. The sworn police overtime for January 3rd, 2025 is $27,296.83. When you deduct grants of $1,952.67, deduct ETO of $4,413.15, that totals $20,931.01, representing 239.5 sworn officer hours. There were 4 officers on light duty for this pay period and 2 officers injured on duty. Moving to the January 17th, 2025 payroll. Sworn police overtime is $23,268.39. Deduct grants totaling $3,303.44. Deduct ETO totaling $595.43. This represents $19,369.52, which is 247.5 sworn officer hours. There were 3 officers on light duty for this pay period and 2 injured on duty. That completes my report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lenning. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Okay, moved by Mr. DePalma, second by Mr. Garcia.
Roll call. Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini. Stepped away from the
He's
dais.
off dais.
Council Vice President, Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Motion carries.
First ordinances for first reading, ordinance of the FR1, ordinance of the Township of Old Bridge, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 5, Article 8 of the Code of the Township of Old Bridge entitled Department of Police by amending 5-97, testing procedures for entry-level officers, applications, qualifications. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Mr. DePalma, second by Mr. Asatuli.
Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquity is still away from the dais.
Off dais.
Council Vice President, Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Motion carries. Public hearing set for February 11th, 2025.
FR2, ordinance of the Township of Old Bridge, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 5, Article 3 of the Code of the Township of Old Bridge entitled Council by amending 5-25, ordinances and resolutions. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Mr. DePalma, second by Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquity's away from the dais. Council Vice President, Dr. Greenberg Belli. Yes. And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Motion carries. Public hearing set for February 11th, 2025.
Okay. Discussion ordinances. Ordinance amending Chapter 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Section 10-14 and 10-16 of the Township Code regarding stop and yield intersections. Good evening, Mrs. Shapiro. How are you?
Good evening, council. Sorry, I was back there emailing NJ Transit about that bus stop, so.
No, that's okay. You're always on. She's on the go.
So I think when I put this map up here and you see Southwood Drive coming off of County Route 516 and connecting to Route 18, I think you know why I'm sitting in front of you.
Yeah.
It's an ordinance here to control the intersection of Southwood Drive and Marlborough Road in proximity to New Jersey State Highway Route 18. So at the bottom of the page in the yellow lines, you'll see from left to right is Route 18. You'll see that to the left of the page, there's the interchange of Route 18, County Route 516, and County Route 527. So north is to the left. Not typical on a plan, but I was trying to fit it all in. You'll see diagonally coming from the bottom left corner up and to the right is County Route 516. And then in the blue dotted line, if you could see those colors from where you're sitting, is the delineation of Southwood Drive. As you approach Route 18 over the years, we have tried to make the stop sign on Southwood Drive in the westbound direction a little bit more visible. Right now, there's an LED sign out there that is solar powered that flashes. Unfortunately, when I look at the accident reports for the last 3 years, it seems that that direction is where the accidents are occurring. We worked with Captain Snee to get the accident report so we could share it with Middlesex County. We worked with Sergeant Manaconis to get just some insider information on the intersection to see what we're missing. We worked with Middlesex County over the years because we wanted to see if there was a conversation that they would have with us on stopping Marlborough Road. So I'm going to share with you this next slide. So as I discussed before, the top of the page coming down, that's Southwood Drive in the westbound direction approaching 18. Bottom of the screen is Route 18 left to right. That little connector piece is actually NJDOT jurisdiction. That's part of Southwood Drive. running left to right on the top of the screen, the one lane in each direction with the double solid yellow line, and then the do not block this box painted in the center, that's Marlborough Road, under county jurisdiction. So now you have 4 legs of an intersection, 2 of which are under county jurisdiction, 1, Southwood Drive, where the flashing stop sign is, under township jurisdiction, and then the piece that connects Southwood Drive, to Route 18, that's under DOT's jurisdiction. When I was looking at my emails, I started here in 2013. I think like the first day I started writing emails on this intersection. What's nice now is the old traffic engineer at Middlesex County has since retired. The new traffic engineer there has been very cooperative in having a discussion with the township. The county, DOT, myself, Fred Kish in my office, had basically met over a Teams meeting, and we had discussed this intersection. The easiest way was to put a stop sign on Marlborough Road to stop the traffic. Now, the accidents that are occurring coming in the westbound approach off of Southwood Drive, when I talked to Sergeant Maniconis, he says, it's not that they don't see the stop sign. It's that they see it, they try to stop quickly, and then they try to make the light for Route 18. So it's not that they don't see it, it's not that it's not visible. And so there was a hope that do not block that, intersection would help the situation. But stopping Marlborough Road would give a chance to the vehicles on Marlborough Road to see that car approaching, to see that car crossing. And so when we had talked to DOT in my previous emails, and I want to say going back to 2016, I tried to ask them to make that yield a stop sign. In the conversations recently that we had, they wanted that free-flowing movement off of Route 18 because they don't want the cars to back up onto Route 18. If you look at the bottom of the screen, there's almost a dedicated right turn lane approaching there. That didn't exist until somewhere about 2017, 2018, when they came in with their resurfacing contracts. They widened that to be a dedicated because they didn't want the backup. This right now, and what you have in front of you in the ordinance, is just me saying, I want to legitimize the stop sign on Southwood that is there already in the westbound approach. I want to legitimize the yield condition that DOT has on their eastbound approach on Southwood Drive. And I would add 2 new stop signs on Marlborough Road. Now, this is not going to be easy. People are used to Marlborough Road being free-flowing. After this then goes to the county for their work. They will prepare a plan. Now, it's not as simple as just sticking a sign up there. We'll work with the county to put advance warning signs 2 weeks prior to the change in the traffic pattern. We will work on our social media to put the word out that this will be stopped on Marlborough Road. And Sergeant Maniconis and the Traffic Bureau have suggested that they be present for at least 5 business days to get people used to being out there, especially during peak hours, to get people used to it. So hopefully those 3 things can get our residents used to, and the commuters that travel through our town used to, then the change in the traffic pattern.
How many cars would have to line up in that accessory lane going off of Route 18 to Marlborough Road for there to be a backup?
Probably about 6.
6. Okay, I thought more, but 6.
I just took that one car, you see that one car?
Yeah.
And I just, in my eyesight here, I did 1, 2, 3, 4 in front and 1 probably in the back.
I can imagine the accidents now. I want to do everything to make roadways safer and everything. What I'm visualizing is that the people who are used to going on Marlborough Road will go through that stop sign where the car coming now from Route 18 to Southwood and going across is going to be going fast too. So the speeds for both vehicles will be, faster, and I worry about an accident. So I hope that possibly how we have those signs that give, just how we have on Cottrell Road, the signs that are, the carts that read out different things, would be there with the lights that give notice to this for a while, like really a month.
Oh, so a VMS, a variable message board.
Yeah, variable
It will
message
be
board.
on both approaches of Marlborough Road,
Right.
yes.
Right.
Yes.
I hope that will do that, and I think it will make it safer for them. Thank you.
I think it's a great plan. I think it's a great idea. I used to work in Southwood, Southwood School as a para, so I would come and I would go down 18 and I would make my right-hand turn there. And then going and coming home, I know exactly, how difficult that is. Now, I guess what my question is, are you going to, so you're putting the stop signs on Marlborough Road to stop the Marlborough Road traffic. Are you proposing to take down the stop sign and the yield sign? So that's going to stay?
No, the only thing is when I noticed in our ordinance, under the yield conditions, that yield was not there. It wasn't listed in our ordinance, and that should be in chapter 10 of our ordinance, under the yield conditions. So I added that. And actually, surprisingly, that stop sign wasn't there either. The one on Southwood Drive in the westbound approach.
Right.
That wasn't there. So I added those two there, and then I also added the stop conditions on Marlborough Road.
Okay, so that'll hopefully help in the transition even as well, but also with,
Yes.
putting up those.
So we have the variable message signs in advance of the stop sign, and what Councilwoman Greenberg-Belli was suggesting was that we leave it up for a good amount of time so that we could sort of get people's attention before they even get to the stop sign.
Yeah,
on
no, I
Marlborough
think
Road.
it's a great idea. Yeah, I think I'm all for it. Thank you.
I've gotten a number of complaints coming off there, and I know just for myself coming off Route 18, it is a tricky. If you don't know it, it's tricky, and it's literally the last stop in Old Bridge to get into Old Bridge before having to go to East Brunswick and wrap around back to
Yes.
18 South. What is the time frame that you're looking to have this done? Should we move this up and we go to it? So
I mean, the county was very receptive when we had the teams meeting. They seemed, they just said, this is the next step, get this done. I even shared it with George Fallett from Middlesex County to get his comments on what I'm doing in the ordinance, if that would suffice, because a copy has to go to the county. And he said it was perfect, it was fine. He's actually the one that suggested that I added the yield in there as well. And so he did comment on that, and they were very in favor of it, which was nice to hear because it's been over 10 years.
Well, I ask because it's not going to be a plan that we all get maybe excited about getting it done, and then they put it in a pile somewhere and forget about
That's not the vibe I was getting from them, yes.
So I know we've had that quite often in the past.
No, they seemed very receptive to the conversation, and George was actually, from Middlesex County, was actually the one that got DOT on the call within a day.
Okay.
So he's a good guy, and Middlesex County is lucky to have him.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, thank you for, it's been a long haul.
Yes.
A lot of complaints. Did you actually have the incident reports? How many accidents, how many people got hurt?
Yes, so I've actually asked the captains to provide me with the accident reports in the last 10 years, 3 different times. So every single time, county asked me for data, I had to update it because it has to be 3 years recent. So it doesn't matter in their mind what happened before. They want to know what's in the last 3 years. So what was, I guess, not good was that there were 27 accidents. So ultimately, to put these stop signs up, we have to do traffic counts. To run through the warrant analysis to see if they're warranted. But just with the accident reports alone, Middlesex County had agreed that a warrant analysis is not required, and we're using engineering judgment, and we're putting up the signs. So that was their response to me.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Nicole. I drive this intersection an awful lot. I have my family in the car, so I'm always cringing as you cross over. I do everything possible to avoid it. Something you said that really made me start thinking. Sergeant Mataconis mentioned that people try to catch the light. On Englishtown Road, they have like staggered streets, so some of the lights have like a shield, so you can't see it if you're far enough away, because they don't want you to accidentally drive, when you're not supposed to. Would that be an option for that light also?
Sometimes, they have it on like Morristown Road as you're approaching Gordon, where you don't see it until you're right on top of the light, like the lens. I honest to God, I didn't think it even to look to see if it's there. I don't know. I mean, I could always ask DOT if that's something that they could put in there if they want to change the lenses of the traffic signal itself, and see what they say.
If you don't see the light, you're more apt to stop, take your time, cross your street safely. All the stop signs and signs that you propose are needed, but that just might be an extra measure to keep
Yes.
everybody safe.
What about the timing of the light? Because I go that way quite a bit, and it changes very quickly. And I think that might be one of the reasons the people try to run it, because they know if they get stuck, they're going to be there. I don't know.
Well, most of DOT traffic signals are camera detection. Back in the day, it used to be loop detectors in the ground, and you might go up to an intersection and almost see, just like black squares. Sometimes people think that, the pavement's really bad in this area, and then they came and they did some, crack sealing, which is not the case. It's the loop detectors. Sometimes they abandon the loop detectors in place and just wait for somebody to come and mill and resurface, but there's cameras on top of the traffic signals on the arms themselves. Very skinny, tubular. They point down at the lane itself. So for example, this lane here, it might point to see when it stacks two cars here. So if it doesn't stack two cars, it will flip. So, and even if no cars come, there's a minimum time before the light will flip. So maybe it's 90 seconds of green time, or maybe 120 seconds of green time because the dominant is Route 18. So in the middle of the night, you might not see it flipping for a long time because then it defaults. And then that gets a lot quicker when it's during peak times. Yes.
That intersection, that little piece, the Southwood is state jurisdiction?
Yes.
That's probably why it's not in the ordinance, because it's a county road, and then there's the state road. The ordinance deals with local roads.
Oh, I thought I saw some county on there, no?
There may be, but you have to get the approval, so I'm not sure, maybe the county put those up on their own, because it's a county road, which they can.
Okay.
So can the state, but I'm just thinking why it wouldn't have been in the code book.
So tonight is on for first reading. I did add that yield in there. Should I take it off if it's under
Did they review it?
DOT did not, George Fallett did.
Well, yeah, right, it is there. I mean, it's their road, it's there. I don't know if it's going to do anything, but I think, they should certainly, my guess is they probably installed it themselves.
DOT?
Yeah.
The yield?
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, in 2014, in 2014, the sign got hit for a very long time. It wasn't replaced.
Yeah.
When they replaced the sign, something like 2016, they replaced the sign, they added the striping because they came and they did a resurfacing project from Texas Road all the way to Ruse Lane in East Brunswick. When they did that, they improved all these little, pull-offs.
I mean, I think it reflects existing conditions, and it also would help to the extent our police department wanted to write a ticket.
Right.
Someone running the yield, at least it's there.
Yes.
So.
Okay, everyone is good? All right, we're all set? Okay. Well, thank you, Nicole. I'm very happy with this. I'm pleased. I think the residents are going to be pleased as well. This is a safety issue, and I think it's time that we addressed it, and thank you for all the hard work.
Thank you. Council President, if you look favorably on this tonight, I would ask that you move it up to first reading.
Exactly.
Move it to
Okay,
first.
we're going to, okay, moved by Mr. De Palma, and second by Dr. Greenberg Bellet. Okay, and thank you very much.
Roll call. Councilman Asatula?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilman De Palma?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
And Council President Sohar?
Yes, this is a good measure for safety.
7 yeses, public hearing set for February 11th, 2025.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, next is going to be an ordinance amending the code of the Township of Old Bridge, specifically Article 8, Daycare Program, Section 160-31, Fees for Full-Time Summer Camp. Good evening, Matt, how are you?
Good. Thank you guys for having me again.
We're talking about summer, okay.
Yes, talking about
Good to
full-day
me.
summer camp.
Sounds good.
So we are proposing to raise the rate of our full-day summer camp for this upcoming summer. Our current rate for Tiny Turtles and Sharks is at $1,940, and middle school is at $2,050 respectively, and we're looking to increase each by $100. This is only for our full-day summer camp, which operates 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. and runs for 8 weeks throughout the summer. This camp is not included in the township budget as it is a self-sustaining program, and no tax dollars fund this program or offset any of its costs. We're already seeing an increase in minimum wage requirement, trip pricing, security, as well as transportation costs. With this increase, parents will still be paying approximately $54 to $57 per day for childcare, summer camp, trips, security, snacks, and juice over the 8 weeks of the camp, which this year will operate for 38 days. This increase will equate to an increase of $2.63 per day. For your information, this camp program and fees are all inclusive, so you're only paying one price. That gives you your trips, your busing, so the price covers everything that you need for summer camp. There are no additional fees associated with this. These camps are staffed by highly qualified individuals who have a vast experience in summer camp programming. There are not many other township-run camps around that offer the full-day option that we do here in Old Bridge for the length of camp, which is 8 weeks, and the length of the day offered. Some of the trips that we're interested in booking this year are, but not limited to, Philadelphia and Turtleback Zoo, Funplex, Six Flags, Adventure Aquarium, Climb Zone, Diggerland, Dorney Park, I Play America, Top Golf, Tomahawk Lake, Somerset Patriots, and Treescapes. And if you see what our camp totals were, as you see, we are growing. We have our 2023 camp totals there. You'll see our 2024 camp totals, which were all more children in 2024, and we are projecting more children across all levels in 2025. If you flip that piece of paper over that I gave you, it'll show you the nearby camps that offer the full-day programming. I just want to highlight some of this. East Brunswick Township Camp, 6-week program, only operates 9 to 4, not 7:30 to 6 p.m. like us, and their rate is $2,400 or $2,600 for that program. Like I said, only 6 weeks versus our 8 weeks, 9 to 4 versus 7:30 to 6 p.m. Then you start looking at Lakeview Day Camp, obviously. They run an 8-week program like us, but they're only 9 to 4, and they're between $3,600 and $3,900. Old Bridge YMCA, we were able to grab their prices. These are their 2024 prices. They haven't advertised 2025 yet, but if you're a member there, you're paying $2,800. A non-member, a little over $3,000. Once again, those hours are still shorter than ours, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And obviously, once you go down that list, those are very, very high numbers for summer camp. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And if you look favorably upon it, just like Nicole had said, if you guys can move it up to first reading, that would be great.
Excuse me, anyone on my left have a question for Matt? Okay, Mr. De Palma, you do?
Matt, I know a lot of this stuff needs to go up because, minimum wage,
Yep.
the cost of insurances and stuff like that. I mean, I know my children use this. They've used it for a number of years while I've been a councilman, prior to being a councilman. I mean, I know that from a value perspective, it's there. I mean, it sells out pretty
In
quickly.
3 minutes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I understand raising the price for anything is not, it's not what anyone wants to hear, but unfortunately, it's necessary.
Correct.
With the cost of everything going up. I know that this is a valuable asset to the town and to the residents, you know, and hopefully they understand the reasons why some of this cost does need to grow up.
Yes.
Thank you. Anyone else? Dr. Greenberg?
Yes, it is unfortunate when you do have to raise prices, but everyone looks around what the price has been, and when taxes have to go up, that's really out of your hands, like you say, for salaries, for insurance, et cetera. But when you look at this, for 10.5 hours a day, for 5 days a week, for eight weeks,
Rain or
that is
shine.
420 hours. So it's 24 cents per hour for that, you know, by raising it that much. I think that is pretty reasonable to send your kids and know that they're going to have fun, be with friends, and be safe. So it's unfortunate, but something has to be done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else on my right? No? Okay, I just want to add thank you again for all you do and how you try to keep the costs down. But again, there are things that come up, like you said, minimum wage and so on, and we have to make sure we meet all the standards that are necessary to run this program.
And
But
if I could just add one
Yeah,
thing, not to
sure.
cut
Go
you off.
ahead, Matt.
Obviously, we are licensed by the state of New Jersey. And the good thing that our camp is licensed, our camp and our before care and after care is registered as a daycare facility that's recognized by the state of New Jersey. The one thing that gives us, if there are families that are in financial need, if they don't reach a certain threshold, there is an organization out there that's sponsored by the state that does come in and does assist. If we weren't licensed by that, we wouldn't have that wing to help out those families who are really, really in need.
Right, well, that's why I said we meet all the state requirements, and that's a big thing. And that's a positive for the town, you know. And the goal is to have as many children come, participate, and have a fun, safe summer at a price that's not crazy. I mean, I have grandchildren daycare. It's outrageous. So this, I think you really have a good way of keeping things, you know, in a good place for everybody. And thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Can I have a motion?
Thank you.
Move it.
Okay, moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mr. Asatuli.
Roll call, Councilman Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilman DePalma?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
7 yeses, public hearing set for February 11th, 2025.
Okay, summer is coming. Okay, ordinance amending the 2006 Crossroads Development Plan, specifically Block 2100, lots 6.11, 6.12, and 13.12. Good evening, Vina.
Good evening, Council. I know, you'll see me again.
You're a frequent flyer.
This is basically a continuation from our discussion we had last meeting on the Crossroads redevelopment plan. At that time, I didn't have a draft ready. It was last minute because I was trying to meet other deadlines of the state. But there is a plan that was circulated to the council so that you're assured that the plan is complete on my end. Mark has not got a chance to review it. So I would really recommend that the council carry this for first reading at the next meeting. The one thing is I have reached out to the redeveloper to get their input. I have not heard back. I want to give it one more try before I move it up for a first reading. And also, there is no planning board meeting until February 27th. So it really does not affect the final hearing date. So the plan is complete. I would just want Mark to look at it before we move it up. But thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have a
Any
motion?
questions?
I have a question.
First reading? Do you want a question?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
I was just briefly going through it. I'm just confused. I don't understand. I thought a project goes through like the redevelopment agency
Right.
and then comes to us,
Correct.
right? So does that have, what is,
This was a plan, it went through the redevelopment planning process in 2006. So the area was designated as an area in need of redevelopment. There was a plan in place. The plan didn't come to fruition all these years. If you may recall, 4 years ago, I came with a plan amendment for the 100% municipally sponsored project across the street from Marlborough. Now I'm amending just these 3 parcels. So it's a huge plan, but this went through the redevelopment planning process in 2006, and that's why you're directly seeing the plan, because it's an ordinance, and the council adopts the ordinance.
thank you.
Is there anyone else who has?
Yeah, just so, again, this is the overall Crossroads, right? Crossroads is gigantic, and there's different sections to it. And this is another section that deals with the proposed redeveloper for the additional uses for the warehousing data centers that has already been designated conditional redeveloper. So this is a planned amendment to address that portion that's still township-owned property.
Anyone else for a question? Yes.
Savina, are you asking us not to move it to first reading today to allow Mark to,
To review it and.
and we have to redraft the ordinance? Is that what we have to do?
No, so actually, Vina just sent this to me today.
Okay.
So I'll review it. I think she wanted to make sure see if the proposed redeveloper or conditional redeveloper has any additional comments.
Okay.
And then I think it was Vina had said, the timing won't change because after it gets introduced, because it's a zoning ordinance, it gets referred to the planning board. They don't meet until when?
February 27th.
Right, so 27th. So the actual adoption of the ordinance won't change.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
So, but it'll be first reading then for next.
For the 11th.
Yes. So 11th will be first reading, 27th will be the planning board review, and the March meeting would be the second hearing, and the public hearing.
When's the second hearing here?
March 3rd.
No. When's the second council meeting in
It's
February?
the 11th, and then it's the 25th.
Okay.
So the first meeting in March would be the second hearing. Thank you.
See, just when everybody's getting this whole pattern down, we have the ordinance that's going to change this introduction.
Yes, then you're gonna throw us all off again. And then I'll be accused of not knowing what I'm doing. You'll be saying, what is she doing on social media? You don't know.
Very nicely.
Thanks, Mark. I'm getting creamed as it is. Okay, consent agenda. I'd like a motion. Yeah. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Here we go. Ordinance establishing the flag display policy for the Township of Old Bridge, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey. Okay. Good evening.
Okay, this is an ordinance about our municipal flagpole out in front here. Statutorily, by federal and state law, we're allowed to fly the American flag, the state flag, and the POW flag. This is just establishing that in Old Bridge because we get numerous requests to fly various flags, and we want to prevent lawsuits from hate groups and things like that. So we just want to make it so that the 3 flags that statutorily by the federal government and state government can be flown.
I think the idea, again, is obviously but there's both federal law, as the mayor said, and state law that deals and dictates how flags should be displayed. And under those provisions, again, it's obviously primary is the United States flag, secondary is this flag of state of New Jersey, and then third would be the POWMIA flag. And I think unfortunately those types of flagpoles have been used for purposes of expression, which really is not the intent of a flagpole or the monuments for those flags. So I think that this would be the purpose, again, if you looked at the ordinance, is to establish that policy to ensure that flagpoles, not only at this complex, but with other municipal properties, because we can only control municipal properties that have flagpoles, would follow the state, the federal and state protocol relative to the flying of flags.
Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
And I'd like to ask you to move it to first reading.
I'll move it.
Okay.
Second it.
Okay, moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mr. Pescitti.
Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
To move it to first reading, yes, sure.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
7 yeses. Public hearing set for February 11th, 2025.
Consent agenda, I'd like a motion and a second, and then we'll go back for separations.
Second.
Okay, moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by
Mr. DePalma.
Mr. DePalma.
Councilman Asatuli, any items for separation?
No, thank you.
Councilwoman DeCaro, any items for separation?
No, thank you.
Councilman DePalma.
Just C6?
C6. Councilman Garcia.
I have none, thank you.
Councilman Pasquini.
No separations, thank you.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
No, thank you.
And Council President Sohar.
No, thank you. Okay,
Okay, so we're going to go for
roll
a,
call, with the exception of C6.
with the exception of C, for the balance of the agenda,
Right,
with the exception of C6. Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
7 yeses.
Okay, C6, Mr. DePalma.
Yes. Just wanted to separate it to thank the administration, the mayor, and everyone for kind of getting on top of some of the issues we've had at some of our parks. Dyke Park, that pavilion, it served its time very, very well. It served camps, it served families, it served a lot. It's about that time that we start to spruce up some of those things. So I just wanted to make sure that we separated that to let the public know that there will be a new pavilion coming soon, and just to make sure that we thank the administration for making sure that we are taking care of those parks. And if no one has anything, I'll move it.
Okay.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pescitti.
Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
7 yeses.
Report of the township clerk.
I have no report.
Okay, report of the township attorney
No report, Madam President.
and administrative report.
Thank you, Council President. Short report, but we have a lot of really nice things in it tonight. So item number 1, first quarter tax payments. The Township Division of Tax Collection will be open Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. during the first quarter tax collection period. The tax office will also be open on Saturday, February 1st from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and on Monday, February 10th from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Payments can be made in person at the tax office, at the drop box in the entryway of the Thomas English Administration Building, by mail, online, and by signing up for automatic withdrawal. For homeowners enrolled in the automatic withdrawal program, your taxes will be withdrawn on or about February 4th, 2025. For more information, please call the Division of Tax Collection at 732-721-5600, extension 2999. We're getting to the good stuff. Item number 2, NJRPA 50th Annual Conference Awards. The New Jersey Recreation and Park Association, known as NJRPA, is dedicated to enhancing the lives of New Jersey residents by supporting outstanding parks, recreation, and natural resources management programs since 1928. We are honored to announce that NJRPA has selected the Township of Old Bridge to receive the Multi-Use Facility Design Award for Cottrell Farm Park. Old Bridge Township will be recognized at the NJRPA 50th Annual Conference Award Dinner on Tuesday, February 25th. Limited seating. Item number 3, ACECNJ 54th Engineering Excellence Awards. The American Council of Engineering Companies of New Jersey, known as ACECNJ, recognizes the top accomplishments and contributions of New Jersey's engineering profession. We are honored to announce that ACECNJ has selected French and Perlo Associates Consulting to the Township of Old Bridge to receive the Distinguished Award for the design and construction of Cottrell Farm Park. French and Perlo Associates, along with Old Bridge Township, will be recognized at the ACECNJ 54th Engineering Excellence Awards banquet on Wednesday, March 12th, 2025. The last item, Ice Arena. We would like to remind the residents that our ice arena will be open until March 2025. The full public session list will include dates, times, fees, and available on our website at www.oldbridge.com/recreation. We hope you come out and enjoy public skating sessions. Thank you.
Does anyone have a question or a comment? Casey?
Good job, Casey.
Okay, seeing no hands, I'll ask for a motion.
Move it.
To accept.
Move it.
Okay, moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mr. Asatuli.
Roll call. Councilman Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilman DePalma?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli? Yes. Council President Sohar?
Yes.
7 yes.
Thank you, Casey. Okay, next will be public comment on any subject matter for a maximum period of 3 minutes.
The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. This section is open for any topic or items in the consent agenda. In accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the Old Bridge Rules of Council, the council asks the public to limit their comments to 3 minutes or less. Only one member of the public shall approach to speak to the council at a time. The council will respect the public's time by refraining from any comment until the speaker is finished with their allotted time. Should be further noted that the public comment portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. If a member of the public has questions they seek answers to, an appointment can be made with the corresponding department's office during regular business hours. The township clerk will regulate the time during the comment portion of our meeting.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone in the audience tonight who wishes to be heard? Good evening.
Good evening, council members. How are you? Happy New Year. Happy to see everybody here doing well. My name is Michael. I know we don't share names, but I will. Michael, I live here in Old Bridge. Again, proud resident, like I've said before. I have a simple request. It's been the same request I've had for the last 10 months. That's time on your calendars. I've spoken with some of you in regards to what I'm trying to do, and I've made it clear where I stand. And I've listened to this council many times. Some things being along the lines of how you're trying to grow, how you're looking at older ways and what's coming new, starting new businesses, bringing life back to Old Bridge. One of the challenges that was said recently in the December meeting was that government wasn't listening, in an instance where, something was trying to be said and, they were told, hey, we just don't have the ability or we don't really care to hear you. And at some cases, I could see where that could fall. Everyone's busy, everyone has a life. So I do ask if you do find time, I would love to sit, have a conversation, and just see where everyone falls in certain plans, views, and businesses going forward. Have a great evening.
Oh, thank you very much. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to be heard this evening? Okay, seeing no hands, I'll close the public portion and we'll go to council comments.
Councilman Asatuli?
Yes. Just want to congratulate Dennis. That's 40 years of impacting this community and the children. I mean, dedicating that much time, they say if you love your work, you'll never work a day in your life. And that's what Old Bridge is. Dennis is Old Bridge. And just like when Casey came up and said, look how much we care. When Casey came up and talked about the veterans and putting up signs for veterans, we have people from the outside doing audits and saying Old Bridge is flawless. Now we have somebody coming for safety saying we're like the top in safety. So what do the voters want? What do the taxpayers want? Fiscal responsibility and safety. That's important. So when you vote for your elected officials, we have to make those promises and keep them. And there's 3 things that we do. Number 1, you keep Old Bridge strong. Number 2, you keep Old Bridge safe. And number 3, you make sure that it's fiscally responsible. And not just coming from us, but when people come from the outside and say what a great job the administration is doing, all of you that are here today, Nicole, everybody that's in here, you make our lives a lot easier. Because I think it was Anna that said one day, we don't have many problems in town, so many. You know why? Because it gets taken care of and it doesn't come to us. So I want to thank you for serving this town, because it's a great saying that says people don't care how much you know until they truly know how much you care. And as a resident and even on council, I think that's what Old Bridge is about. And I appreciate you. I mean that sincerely. So thank you.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Thank you. I would also like to congratulate Dennis Kilduff on his community award. He was the head of the Rebels when my kids were there, and I actually worked directly with him. I was on the executive board of the Rebels back then, and you know, we had a great working executive board then. We did a lot of really great things. So I congratulate him on his award, very well deserved. And I also agree with acknowledging his wife Ginger, because she works right along with him with everything he does. They're a team, and she's wonderful also. The only other thing I want to say is, you know, if anybody has, if there's any resident that has any concerns or any issues, Michael, if you can just send that email again to me, because it was all the way down, you know, if you can just resend that to me so I can respond to you, that would be awesome. You know, if anybody has any issues, any problems, you know, feel free to reach out for any reason. My email is jdecaro@oldbridge.com, and if I can't help you, I will figure out where to send you to help. Okay, thank you.
Councilman DePalma.
Thank you. Just a couple things. Before the council meeting today, I was able to go to the schools. Old Bridge Township Public Schools had one of their 3 art festivals. The first one today was for vocal and visual arts. So I found out about it because my youngest daughter, that goes to McDivitt, one of her school pictures were up there that she did with Miss McHugh. I also was able to sit in the back of the auditorium and listen to some of the music that was being sung by the vocals. Over the next, I guess, in a couple months from now, we have 2 additional ones, just so folks know. On April 29th, there's going to be the band, and then on May 1st, the orchestra. So I think in the past, this has always been in one fell swoop. The school's kind of broken up now. So if you do have the opportunity at those times to go see it, it's great to just get out there and go support our children. Congratulations to all the fire districts this year on their yearly installations. You know, may the new officers have a wonderful year, and good luck, and thank you very much for your service. Mr. Kilduff, I know I've thanked him personally, but thank you very much for all your years of service, all the time that we've spent together on the rec board. But it's like, I think like everyone will agree, it's folks like Dennis and Dennis's family that does bring this town a step above a lot of other towns. It's the folks that really want to volunteer their time and their effort above and beyond just what their kids are doing. You know, a lot of us coach when our kids are playing and then kind of step aside. But for folks like Dennis who continue on that path even after their children, and as you see, he had his grandchild here, it's such a wonderful thing to see those folks continue on that path. And we thank you, Dennis, but not only you, but also all the folks in town that continue that. And the final thing, tomorrow is the Chinese New Year. For those who will be celebrating, Happy New Year. I believe it's the year of the snake. So please have a wonderful new year and good luck. Thank you.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes, thank you. I also want to congratulate Dennis and Mr. Kilduff on getting his award tonight. I've only met him a couple times. I'm still amazed he did his job for 40 years. Well, it wasn't even a job, a volunteer for 40 years, and he looks so young. I mean, he probably started when he was about 10 years old. But really, most towns run with volunteers. And I know we're slowly losing volunteers, but he spent 40 years with us, and I think that's great. We need more volunteers like him. So I thank him and all the volunteers in Old Bridge who do help, because without, it's just hard to not have volunteers. So I thank him. Also, Councilman Masatuli mentioned earlier about our leaders in town, whether it be Nicole, Mayor, Casey, Dawn, Matt, everybody. I can tell you, today, I had a resident emailed me, and I sent it over to the proper channels. Casey took care of it. I came in, he told me he took care of it. This is what they do. Whenever there's an issue, they take care of it right away. So when people say we don't, I think it's complete nonsense. Every time I get an email from a resident, it gets sent right away to the proper channel, and it gets taken care of right away. So I thank all you guys for doing what you guys do. Also, I think it's going to be done tomorrow, you said, correct? Yes. So thank you again. And everybody just be safe out there with the police. Guys, be safe. And that's all. Thank you.
Councilman Pasquini.
I too want to thank the department heads and all the folks that work. I have the same experience. I have an issue, a resident sends me an email or a phone call, and I forward it on, and it gets taken care of. It's really good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I got a call from the county, and they're looking for a list for the poll workers already. This is really early. It's never been this early. But because they have this new payroll thing, they're asking for names. So as I send out the emails, I had a lot of people dropping out. So if anybody's interested in being a poll worker, please send me an email, tpasquini@oldbridge.com. Thank you.
Council Vice President, Dr. Greenberg-Belli.
Yes. So one thing I wanted to speak about, because it's always unfortunate how things get misconstrued and people give out false information and don't show any desire to get the correct information before they spew vile things on Facebook. So once again, as you know, there was an article about the Alfieri project, which is by the Garden State Parkway and Madeline Road. No one on this council voted for that project. Not a single person up here has voted for that. But people, I call them Facebook warriors, Facebook cowards, whatever you want to call them, are spewing all these falsehoods. So here's what happened. It was voted down. It went back, and a judge is approving this. So the judge is dictating what is going on in our town. It's the same thing when you think of this COA. It was Coalition for Affordable Housing, and now it's fair share housing. That what a misnomer that is, So really, they're really lobbyists for builders because it allows them to build more units for affordable housing. Everyone agrees you need affordable housing, but what overreach is there now with government that they can decide by doing an aerial map on your open space in your town that would dictate how many units your town has to build every year? Yet you have the same people that support individuals that pass on this insanity to each municipality, and it's just not Old Bridge, it is across the state. So this will no longer in the future, if this happens every cycle, can you imagine you're building out, the state will no longer be the Garden State. This is just crazy. It's happening in every town. So what happens when that happens? When they talk about open space, I feel the open space is between the ears of the people that do this, because it's just wrong. It is just wrong that someone can come look at a map or look at the amount of open space you have and say you have to go ahead and build this many units. When they don't even come here, they don't know your town, but they don't take into account the most important things. They don't take into account the infrastructure. So you're saying you have to build all this? Well, maybe your roads don't support it. Who's going to pay to do your roads? Who's going to pay when it costs every other maintenance in your town to maintain that? It's just unfair. So then at the same time, when you think about open space, we all want open space up here. But if we don't have an open space revenue, how are you going to buy open space? So all these people that are screaming they want open space, they need to do several things. First of all, as far as the fair share housing, this is a policy that's made mostly through, I hate to say the Democrats. This came out of a Mount Laurel decision. But it's also changed. Can you imagine that they can tell you to build so many units that it doesn't even go along with your zoning ordinances? So what's the use of having zoning ordinances also? But at the same time, I am asking those who are in affiliation with the individuals that do this, and every resident who wants open space needs to do two things, and this is across the state, to get in touch with the state to say this is unfair. You're talking about fairness for affordable housing, and they're not affordable, I'll tell you that. So they're using these words that aren't fair. It's not fair to the people live here. It's not fair to the people that are fortunate have to purchase these units, renters. It's only a play on words, so it's not fair. So you have to go after those individuals to change this policy. Then you have to get a referendum where we need signatures to get on our ballot to have an open space tax. Because if not, everyone can scream, we all want open space. Who's going to buy this? Someone's going to come in and just give us the money to buy this? No. And this land is going by the wayside. So we have to really be serious about this, how we want to go about doing this, because it is not fair for this to be shoved down every municipality's throat all this time, telling us we have to build this many units, how we have to have this many affordable units. They don't even do a study on all the apartments and everything else that are here already. Are there vacancies? Are there units? Are there vouchers? There's so many other different ways to do it. We're building a veterans. I would go for the veterans. We have special needs children in our town that are going to be adults. We should have more units for them. So there's so many ways, aspects to do this. But when they just rush us down our throat, but don't even take in consideration any municipality or have a discussion with them about anything that's going on in their town, but dictate. So when you talk about a dictator, that's who the dictator is. They are the dictators telling us what we have to do without taking anything into consideration for the residents of this town or any other town or municipality in this town. And if you just don't focus on Old Bridge, this is going on all over the state, Hawthorne, every town, and they're telling you what you have to build and where you have to build it. This is just wrong, and it's not conducive. Then when you talk about open space, we all want open space. I've said it a million times. Someone has a farm, they don't have children, or their children are all over the country. The parents die, they go to sell their farm. The state, you can't even purchase it because it's coming in at a price what builders would pay for it. Well, there should be a fund that's compatible with it, so then the person has a desire to put it into open space. Because in the long run, spending that money up front really saved you money for the long run, for infrastructure, for police, for fire, everything else. With roads, so it really makes a difference. So you may be short-sighted if you only think of the cost right now, but if you think about it, 30 years, 50 years down the line, you are going to be saving money. So I just have, when I hear this and saying it's on us, it's not on us. We had nothing to do with Alfieri other than a judge is remanding it back to us and shoving it down our throat. So these Facebook warriors really better get their story straight. So if you know any of them, I hope you talk to them. Thank you.
Council President Sohar.
Thank you, Dr. Greenberg. It is true. There's a lot of stuff on social media, a ton of it. I'm sent all kinds of things about how I'm incompetent and so on. And believe me, when they send it to me, I look, and some of the people I actually know. So that's okay. But in the meantime, you know, she is right as far as the mandates that are put upon us. And it's very difficult for us now to grapple with this and to do what we have to do because, as she said, we're dictated to make these numbers. So please realize that, and realize that, you know, we are trying the best we can to maintain this town and keep it the way we all felt about it when we first moved here. We don't want to see all this housing either. There's not a person up here that wants to see all this housing just everywhere. People are concerned, and they should come and they should listen and understand what's going on rather than being on social media and everybody, you know, making all these crazy accusations. It's not right. It really isn't. Come here and talk to us. Well, that being said, as far as Dennis is concerned, Kilduff, I too want to thank him. I've known him now quite a few years, and I think him and his family really have done so much for this community. Ginger's great as well. And that's the kind of people that sit on all these committees that we thank for all the time that they take as volunteers. So that really, thank you so much to the Kilduff family. Anything being said, I just want to make sure everybody knows, have a great week, enjoy, and be safe, and listen to what, you know, what's going on, but listen with an open mind. Thank you.
I neglected to say, I wish Dennis, Dennis does enjoy his free time with his family, but now he's got a grandbaby. I think his time's going to be taken up with a good thing.
Can we get a motion to enter into executive session?
But we are coming.
We will be coming
Right.
back,
We have
yes.
to make that clear.
Motion by Dr. Greenberg-Belli, second by Councilman DePalma. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilman DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilman DePalma? Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquitti?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg-Belli? Yes. And Council President Sohar. We'll be entering executive session for matters of attorney-client privilege, potential litigation, affordable housing, CBA contract negotiations, litigation, ICOB versus Township of Old Bridge, and potential litigation for liquor license.
And I want to add a township personnel matter.
Present need and prospective need obligations for the Township of Old Bridge.
Move it.
Moved by Councilman Pasquitti, second.
Second.
By Councilwoman DeCaro. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilman DePalma?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilman Murphy? Councilman Pasquitti?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg-Belli?
Reluctantly, yes.
Council President Sohar? Yes. 7 yeses. We have a resolution approving the settlement and a release agreement. Can I get a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Councilman DePalma, second by Councilman Asatuli. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquitti.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg.
Yes.
Council President Sohar. 7 yeses.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
By Dr. Greenberg-Belli, second.
Second.
Councilman DePalma. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquitti.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg-Belli.
Yes.
Council President Sohar. Yes. Meeting adjourned at 11:04 PM.